This week on Convincing Idiots, we have idiot reviews. We have the question of the week, the end of the world. What will be playing at the end credits when it all comes to an end? And we talk about the Christmas house being sold from here in Cleveland. Gallagher, he's dead. And the main topic this week, Mount Rushmore of sitcoms, or situation comedies, or sit-down comedies. Find out this week. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start the show.
All right. Test.
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 What do you call it again? Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
Kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
And welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial.
I'm Brian, Gen X.
And well, hello there. My name is Nick, and I am a millennial, and you
Hi,
are
Nick.
listening to Convincing Idiots, the weekly podcast in which three friends representing three different generations get together to talk about nerd and pop culture topics of the week and whatever we feel like talking about. So, if this is your first time joining us, we welcome you, and we welcome you to subscribe to all of our social media accounts. Rather than list them all off for you, just know that we're on all of your favorites, and you can find a link to each and every one of them on our very own Convincing Idiots link tree. Just Google Convincing Idiots link tree, LANKTREE. And there you're going to find all the links that you need. You can also find that information on our website. That is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. And along with all the links to social media accounts and podcast platforms in which you can listen to us every single week, you can also find our email address, different ways that you can help the show, and learn a little bit something about us that maybe you didn't know before. We are also available on Boss Code Media. So if you're not familiar with them, they are an independent creator driven platform that showcases many different talents all around the country. They feature us. They feature our friends that it came from Gen X. So if you have not already done so, be sure to download their app on your smart TV or in your app store on your phone. Just look up Boss Code TV, Boss Code Media. Both should get you there. So I think that's basically everywhere we can be found, along with you right here, right now, wherever you're listening. So we are once we have so much ground to cover this week. As last week we were missing our dear Zennial friend Dean.
I'm back.
It was a bit of a catastrophe from what I understand last week. But Dean, you have so much to catch us up on. So how have you been, sir?
There was just so much shit.
All the poo.
It would. You ever change a baby's diaper and it runs up their back?
Yes.
It looked like I had a tiger stripe down my back. And I wasn't even upside down at that time.
Really? So it was just defying gravity at that point. Just the
It was
sheer
just so much
power of the mess just defied gravity.
Yeah, and then when I finally did, hang upside down, which I do nightly,
A lot of sleep.
Correct. It went up my legs. It was very weird. But I'm better. I'm back, better than ever.
And your
Well,
back is better than ever?
No. I kept the shit there. So I like the tiger
okay.
look. Yeah.
Okay. Keeps me stuck to one place in my chair.
Hey, Megan doesn't want to come around me anymore because I guess I smell, but I look cool.
Well,
So
the smell's improved, is what we hear.
oh,
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
So each day is better and better.
That's good. The road to
no.
recovery. They never said it would
Road
be
to
easy.
recovery. I want to tell you about real quick what I had done I'd done a few different things, not much, but the one thing I did do is Megan's mother held a murder mystery dinner at her house. Everybody came in costume, and I played my role was a French vineyard operator.
Okay.
So I got to wear a beret and looked all cool and stuff. There was somebody dressed as a priest, somebody dressed as everybody was kind of in black in general because it was a funeral, and then you had to find out who killed the person at the funeral. And spoiler alert, it was me.
You were the killer?
I was the killer. Nobody was able to guess it.
So how does that work? Is it like, so our kids, for those that don't have small kids that might be listening, and Brian, you're probably not familiar with the game, but I know that our kids play this. The game Among Us? That's, it's basically the
Yes.
thing.
Oh, I know.
Is it like that?
Yeah.
Do you guys eat, did you know going into the party that you were the killer, or did you find out when you were there?
You only knew your character. She got this online like a box. It gives character stuff, recommendations on what to cook. She had her living room and her whole house looked like an Italian restaurant. She went all out for this.
That does not surprise me.
Right. And when we got there, everything was all decked out. Everybody had drinks. It was kind of like Clue. You're kind of introducing yourselves to each other in character and kind of hanging out. And then once dinner started, everybody was called to the table, sit around the table, and there was a pamphlet on each plate. You had an assigned seat, and you'd open it up, and it would tell you, welcome, Bo, that was my character, and on mine it said, you are the killer. So and then you go around the table asking questions. It kind of guides you in the conversation. And then at the end of a round, they'd play on the phone, the detective kind of catching everybody up and whatnot. And at any time, you can't lie, but you can trick and deceive. Like if somebody would ask me, hey, are you the killer? I would have had to say yes.
Okay.
But nobody did. So
how mad would everyone have been if you right off the bat got your card and you're like, oh my gosh, I got the killer one, you guys.
Right.
Well, okay.
Motherfucker. Yeah, no, it was so much fun. I'm definitely want to do it again. You guys should join us next time. It is a lot of fun.
Sounds like a blast.
So if you ask somebody if they're the killer and you're wrong, are you out of the game? Is that how that works?
You can't just go around and say,
are you the killer? No.
Right.
Are you the killer? No.
Right. And I don't think anybody asked anybody actually that you were a killer, because at the end you got to accuse who you thought it was at the end.
Okay.
So
that
nobody
would defeat
really
the purpose of the game, I guess. Anyway, just simply asking people if they're the killer. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Next time she does it, I'll keep you guys in mind, and hopefully I don't have to do a French accent, which went in and out, and the more wine I drank, it went really through the United Nations of accents that I did.
You liking my wine? Yes. Nice.
Exactly. Turned out to be Borat at the very end. Towards the end, I just gave up and just was talking normal because I just couldn't keep up with it.
Can I hear a preview of the French accent?
Oh, see, I don't know. You stupid American. You don't have the comprehension to understand my beautiful sound of music that comes from my voice.
It's not bad. It's a couple things though. I feel like it's towing the line.
But
is that what it is?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can see it moved to Italian. Like I said. The longer I did it, and the more I actually got to try. She had a couple bottles of what is a Chianti, or Chianti, however you
Chianti,
pronounce
yeah.
it. That was very good. I kind of finished that bottle off myself. So I was, it was. I was good to go at 42, 41.
What are you saying? Your age, or is that what you're trying to figure out?
Yeah.
You're 41. Yes.
41. Okay. So at 41, you don't
Let me help you out
quite.
there.
I appreciate that. I don't quite bounce back as quick as I used to. So the next day was quite rough. But yeah, but it was worth it. It was one of those hangovers where you think back and go, you know what? Fuck, I earned this one. That was good.
That's good.
So that's what happened with me. Besides shitting my pants, what about you guys, Brian? What about you? What's going on?
Well, I had to miss the party, unfortunately, but I forgot I had tickets to a rock concert, so I went.
I thought you'd shit your pants too. Oh
nope, not this time.
Okay.
Went to the Cleveland Agora to see Wasp, who is a 80s metal band, kind of a harder metal band. Their 40th anniversary tour. So, buddy Cooper. He and I have liked Wasp since high school.
40 years?
40 years. They started in 1982.
So you saw them when you were in your late 60s?
No. So we saw them about 20 years ago. We went to the Agora. We saw Motorhead and Wasp. That was a great show.
80s.
What's that?
Dean was trying to figure out what age you were then 20 years ago, so I said 80s.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So anyways, Cooper's birthday's
Motorhead
coming
probably
up.
was a badass concert to see.
I
don't know much about Wasp, but Motorhead was
a great show. Yeah, it was awesome. So his birthday's coming up, so I got him and his wife tickets for the show. Allie was going to go, but she unfortunately was sick. But a couple of Cooper's old college roommates came up, and we had a great time. So went up to. It's just an old venue in Cleveland. They've remodeled it, so they've done a lot of nice work up there. So, great job to the Agora management. The building looked great. They clearly put a lot of renovation into it. It was clean, well organized, all that stuff. And the show was fun. An Armored Saint opened up for them, again, another 80s metal band. So
I've heard that name before.
Armored Saint. That's
Armored Saint.
That's a pretty badass name.
Yeah.
It's a great name. So a lot of fun. So that was the big the big event of my weekend.
How is Blackie Lawless looking these days?
He's an older man.
What?
He's 66 years old. Blackie
What'd you
Lawless.
just say?
So
Wow.
Oh,
that's the singer of Wasp.
That's the name.
Okay.
That's the name
All right. Good.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck's going on right now?
Yeah, Blackie
Are you
Lawless.
going off the rails here?
Obviously, his stage name. That's it. We changed his name to many years ago. But
I would assume
Mr.
and Mrs. Wallace probably had better taste than the name. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, no, it was rumors that he's using some of the voice track a little bit there too. But you know what? You're 66 years of age up there singing.
Right.
Who cares?
Why wouldn't
they
you?
sounded great.
You're there for the
fine.
performance.
Exactly. It was a great show. So they had old 80s videos playing behind them on big screens and stuff that they played along with some of the songs. It was like, wow, you just see the old video from 40 years ago and then them on the stage. It was pretty cool. So
Nice.
Yep.
You know,
Brian was used to listening to him on a wax cylinder.
Right. Crank up the Wasp. Give me that Quiet Riot next. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Brian, you may have known this, but I just found this out like the other day. I missed it. I didn't hear this announcement. I didn't realize Mick Mars from Motley Crue had officially retired.
Yes, he has
He is
retired.
done, and they replaced him with John Five, who was the guitar player for Marilyn Manson
The
years
robot
ago.
from Short Circuit?
I don't know about that, but I know he was in Marilyn
Crazy.
Manson, and he was previously playing for Rob Zombie for many years.
All right.
But, yeah.
I did see
didn't
that.
know
Yeah,
that,
poor Mick Mars he's been battling a disease for a long time. The poor man could barely stand, let alone play. So he's finally succumbed to. He just can't really do it comfortably anymore. So I guarantee he's been going out there in pain probably for several years. You know,
Oh yeah. There's even been performances I've seen where he's like in a wheelchair sitting down, like he's in a throne-looking wheelchair to like just sit there and
Yeah.
play the guitar, and it's like,
Well, if you're gonna do
It's
it,
kinda-
do it with style.
sure, yeah. But then you can't help but have that feeling of like,
Sure.
this poor man, like he's still just
Yeah.
you're wheeling him out there, he can't fucking stand anymore. And,
literally wheeling him out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's rumors they may replace Vince Neil as well, which they probably should these days. So if they're going to continue to try to do anything,
I heard they're going to replace him with a potato.
it would be pretty, but it'd be comparable probbe
Sure.
Yeah.
comparable looking at least.
John
Correct.
Karabi's not busy. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think he's doing anything.
Yeah.
That sounds made up. Like Johnny
John
Karate.
Johnny Karate's out there
Johnny Karate.
doing his thing.
I'm here to rock you.
So Nick, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm just fantastic. I'm doing well.
Still learning how to shave, I see.
That's right. That's
Can't
right.
quite make it to the lip.
Mustache is looking fantastic. We are.
It is.
I trimmed
You
it
look
up
like
there.
you should own your own van with no windows.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's a ringing endorsement. No, I'm very proud of my mustache. I love my mustache. It's I really let it.
So do I.
Let it really let it go free, run wild this month, and it's been nice. So I like it. I'm slowly seeing if I can
call it the idiot tickler.
if I keep it just like, if Robin gets used to it for the month, I'm like, maybe like December 1st will roll around and nothing will happen, and maybe I can just kind of keep
Skate
riding
by.
with it.
There
But
you go.
I don't know if she's gonna call me out on that or not. Don't have to worry about her listening to this and finding this information out.
Right.
So
No, she
it's
doesn't
a
listen to
safe
this
place.
ever,
This is a safe
actually.
place.
Yep.
But no, I'm good. So what did we this weekend? We talked to Brian on Thursday. Friday went out for some drinks at Magic City. Some friends and stuff. Saw some people, so it was cool. Saturday we did family movie.
Cough, your son's birthday.
I'm not there yet.
Oh,
It hasn't.
okay.
I'm just Saturday. His birthday.
Well, you
hasn't
look like an
happened
old
yet.
man with a mustache, so I thought you might
In
have
the-
forgotten at this point.
In the lineage of the
All
weekend,
right,
that
I'm
hasn't
just
happened.
trying to help.
Saturday, we did dinner and a movie. Went out to Red Robin out in Canton and saw a movie in which I will discuss at our idiot review. So that was fun. Nice little day with the fam. That was pretty much it. Then yes, my son's birthday. My youngest son,
you almost
Oliver.
forgot. Look at that. No, you
I was
almost
getting-
forgot.
I was getting to the weekend first, and then I was going to start tackling the days of the week. So
I
yes,
guess I'll give you a tackle.
the notable day of this week was my son's birthday on Tuesday. Oliver, my youngest, turned 7 years old.
Happy birthday, Oliver.
Yes, happy birthday to Oliver. So I'm. It's kind of weird to think that my youngest child, like that, I still see often as
It's for his
It's just-
birthday.
that's his little clapper, the little bongo
Yeah,
clapper.
it's a birthday clapper.
Yeah, but 7 years old already, crazy. So yeah, we went out to dinner. His birthday party is coming weekend.
And he's
After
7
this-
or he's
after this
8 now.
coming. He is 7 now. He was 6.
Okay.
He's 7 now. Yes, he's officially 7 years old. So, yep. So
I thought
we
he
went
was
out to
7
dinner with the
already.
family. It was nice. Yep.
Are you
yep.
sure? You want to do the
I'm
math on that?
I'm pretty sure.
All right.
2015 was when he was born. So yeah.
Okay.
You don't even know your own age.
That's about
Yeah, stop trying to age check me. I had to tell you how old you were.
valid.
Yes. So, but yeah, that's about it around here. Nothing crazy.
Very good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you already mentioned you saw movies. Why don't we start with you then, Nick, when we get into some idiot reviews?
Hold on. Before
Yep.
actually, with Nick's mustache, it made me think of that. I know we've already done housekeeping and plugs, but can we mention in the merch store there are now beautiful coffee mugs you can get with our teenage faces on it. Nick's not yet because he hasn't
Oh, yes.
submitted his teenage photo. But
That's right.
the teenage dirtbag collection.
Is it teenage? I thought it was that because I had some picked out, but they're not teenage.
Send me whatever photo you want. It's fine. Ours
Okay.
is
Well, ours is our our senior year.
Okay.
Yeah. So whatever you want to send me, Nick, we'll put a millennial Nick.
See, that's my only
merch out
problem
there.
is me as a teenager. I don't have any awkward ones. I was just so awesome. Like that. There's nothing
Sure.
really like to put on a mug that's
Of course.
awkward
All right.
or weird. So.
Next time I roll over and talk to your mother, I'm gonna ask her if she has any old photos.
Let me see those albums.
Yeah, but they're out there. You're right. Dean's on the merch store now. We added some more stuff out there. Yeah.
I wanted everybody to know that you should buy them, because who doesn't want teenage Dean looking like he was from the movie Train Spotting, and teenage Brian also, well, not Train Spotting, more of a what was the with the Matthew McConaughey, Dazed and Confused.
Yeah,
you got Dazed and Confused Brian sitting there. So
also sporting an incredible mustache and Brian
exactly
as well. Yeah,
mullet,
giving
mustache,
Nick a run for his money right now.
That's right. Yeah.
So go to that site, or what our Linktree has it, or our website, or I don't know.
There's a link to it on the website, and there's also a link to it also on the Linktree. So it's all there. So you can go to either one of those. There's a specific link for the merch store. We've also tweeted it out. So,
and by the time you hear this, Nick might have one up there.
Very well might. That's
Perhaps.
We did put some other mugs and glasses out there just with the podcast logo as well. So that's a lot of nice variety. So we're going to keep adding products, and
we expect to see your glassware full of convincing idiots merch.
That's right. Exactly.
And you take selfies with them and submit them onto our Facebook and Instagram. We will share them up and thank you and the whole deal.
That's right. And you might have them if you're watching us, Nick, from a luxury bunker, and the world is went to shit, and you might be watching us yet out of a Convincing Idiots pint glass, watching more episodes here. So we hope enjoy.
What an incredible way to spend the rest of your time on this earth.
That's right.
Only if there was a song that played at the end. Stay tuned.
Yes, that's
we'll
right.
Get to that.
Yeah. Teaser. Okay, so Nick, you mentioned you went to the movies this weekend. Why don't you start out then with some idiot reviews, sir?
Yes, sir. So, for my first review, I ran quickly to the theater to see Wakanda Forever this weekend. I will not give any spoilers. Obviously, it's not even been out for, well, by the time you listen to this podcast, it will have just been out for a week, but not even been out for a full week yet. So, I will give my review in this way. I loved it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was very good. I did not like it as much as the first one. When I say that is not an indictment of this movie, but you have to understand, to put into context, the first Black Panther movie is probably my favorite superhero movie I've ever fucking seen. So, I mean, it would have been almost impossible for them to live up to it. Not to mention, now granted, the cast without Chadwick did fantastic. Okay, the people in the cast in the movie, the characters you're familiar with, along with some of the new characters, fantastic. They did a great job, but there's obviously
just missing something.
Obviously, it's not this. You know what I mean? It's not quite the same. Kind
of like last week's episode of Convincing Idiots.
Well, that would be,
except
that
one you know is not coming back, and the other one you just keep hope's not coming back. But it's I digress. Anyway, no, this it was very good. I was not disappointed. There were a few moments in it that were very touching tributes to Chadwick. It was very nice. I definitely cried. It was well done. The cast did a fantastic job. If I have a critique, okay, from the first movie, my favorite character was M'Baku, Winston Duke's character, that was the leader of the Jabari tribe, that ended up rescuing, spoiler alert, the first Black Panther ended up, rescuing him, bringing back all that stuff. He's in all the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, and all that stuff. I was hoping for a little more of him. Now, he is, throughout the movie, but I just was...
I was just in the background drinking coffee, walking by.
I was expecting him to have a little bit more of a prominent role. Now, there are certainly winks that, going forward, you will see more of him, that there will be more of a prominent role for him. But no, it was really good. It's a long movie. It's like almost 3 hours. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. 2:40, 2:45. But I mean, yeah, definitely an entertaining movie. Like I said, many touching tributes to Chadwick Boseman. Of course, it's a Marvel movie, so stick around after the credits for a little bit. There's not a final one after all the credits have gone by, but there is one in the middle, and it's incredibly important. So you would not want to miss it. In Wakanda Forever.
Right. So,
Yes.
I mean, without spoilers, they do. There is a new Black Panther.
Yeah,
Correct.
I mean, I feel comfortable with saying that. I mean, there.
It's on the movie poster.
There's a picture of, and I'm not gonna say, but I think let's put it this way: I knew going in who it was going to be, not because I read it, but because if you follow the comics or any of the Marvel animated series that have come along, there's someone else that is the Black Panther at some point. So. And it's who it was supposed to be, and so I wasn't shocked.
Now, does this person did they play it better than like Chadwick Boseman, or is that not fair? Or were they better than Peter Sellers? Like what is the level?
I would not say it was certainly not better. Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers, the Pink Panther.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know there was another version of Black Panther. Did you miss laughing at yourself last week when we were?
Yeah. Fuck you both. I'm funny.
But obviously, so I don't know if that was just a setup or an actual question, but obviously, I think it's pretty impossible to replace the person that did it. Definitely, did a great job and everything. But I will also say there is a cameo appearance in this movie that I was not expecting, and was pleasantly surprised to see. So
was it Peter Sellers?
It was not. I don't know who Peter Sellers is, so if he's in this movie somewhere, I can't tell you he's not. But that's not who I'm
looking for the Black Panther.
He's the Iron Man.
The Panther. Yes, I've been saying, you idiot. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
But yes, it's fantastic. It's very good. If I will leave you with this: if anybody is a fan of the character of the first movie to any degree, it's every bit worth your time, worth your money to go check it out. So, but yes, I was pleasantly surprised. But and like I said, it would have been impossible for this movie to live up to the first one. Just when it came along, what it was, and that's what I was telling somebody. Somebody at work had told me when I told them I was going to see this movie, they hadn't seen. There you go, little Black Panther tale. But that they'd never seen the first one, and I was like, I can tell you, even if you're not a Marvel fan, even if you're not it's a great movie because it stands alone. You don't have to see 18 other Marvel movies to watch Black Panther. It's a standalone story. You know what I mean? You don't. The first Black Panther movie does not. Yes, there are things that happen predates it.
Sure.
The movie revolves in its own storyline. I'm like, it's just a good movie. Stands on its own 2 feet. Don't need to see a bunch of other stuff and do a bunch of homework. But this one, obviously, you would need to see the first one, and would probably help you to see some of the other stuff as well. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I see it's doing incredible in the box office.
Oh yeah,
I guess no movie has ever made more money in the month of November.
300 and some million,
and in 1 week. Yeah,
and it's the second highest weekend of a
Marvel movie ever, right?
Yeah, of the opening weekend. That's what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we went to like a Saturday, like a 3:15 show in Tinseltown or whatever. And I mean, it was packed. And I think there was like 4 theaters in that place showing that movie. But it was packed. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of good things about Namor, the Submariner, as well.
Yes, and you bring up a good point. I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail again. I don't want. It's not a spoiler, but my understanding of Namor from the comics was he was just this. He led the Atlanteans, and he was this Submariner guy. Let's put it this way: they build a backstory for him. With that ties in the ethnicity of the actor and stuff like that, which I really thought was really cool the way that they did that. So it just kind of brought a different element to Namor, and once again, a very good villain. But one that you can totally understand their viewpoint and where they were coming from with their backstory and stuff. So
I think that's what Marvel does the best is giving their villains relatability.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Like even
Good
if you know
point.
they're doing shitty things, you kind of get their point.
Mhm. Yeah, even Thanos
Yeah,
was one
to
of the
an
worst of them
extent.
all, and you're like,
Thanos,
Yeah.
Magneto.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it makes a lot of sense.
Killmonger
Yeah.
was one of my favorites ever because I'm like,
He had
you know,
the
he
best
was a
movie of
villain
them all.
and he was ruthless, but I'm like, you feel bad for him. He's
he was
not
kind
wrong.
of right.
Yeah, like, it's just a different viewpoint of it, but I mean,
Right.
absolutely, like, you know, being what he had gone through and stuff like that, and the things that he'd seen and how he grew up, it's like, yeah, you would probably take a more extremist point of view, you know, from there. So, but yeah, very good movie. Strongly approve. I'll do two quick ones. The only other
Sure.
things that I've been watching, I watched a couple of stand-ups this week. My one buddy's a big Tom Segura fan, and recommended to me his newest special on Netflix. I'm trying to remember the name of it now, and I can't. Oh, Ball Hog. It's called Ball Hog. That's it. Very good. Very, very good. I don't know if it came out this year or last year, but it's hilarious. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tom Segura.
I am.
Yeah, but he's got a few stand-ups and things like that. I think he's hilarious. But Ball Hog by Tom Segura on Netflix is very, very good. I also watched Michael Che's stand-up, which I know is not from this year. I guess it came out in 2021.
Yes.
But that's on Netflix.
Really
it was his
funny.
first special few years. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that as well. And I watched the first couple episodes of Tales of the Jedi or whatever on Disney Plus, the new animated Star Wars.
Yeah, that was fun.
It is. And my favorite thing about it is like they're little, you know, they're 15 minutes. They're like 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
Very
Little
quick watch.
short things. If you're a fan of the Clone Wars, it's right on par with that. Storytelling wise, like animation wise, all that stuff. But like little 15-minute snippets, and I, you know, so far what I've seen of it, I like.
Did you get to the Dooku episode?
I've only seen two or three of them. So no, I don't think so. I don't recall one with Dooku in it yet.
Yeah,
but that's about it for me. But yeah, what were you gonna say about that?
I'm just gonna say you're gonna enjoy it more. You appreciate and again, kind of like we just said about the Marvel villains, you'll get a different kind of view of Count Dooku.
Yeah.
With these episodes.
Okay. Well, continue, Dean. So you saw a couple of those. What else did you see? Anything else?
Those I saw when it first came out, but I'll touch real quick. Andor is just adult Star Wars, and I'm loving it. It was slow at first. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get into it, but once it started picking up, it's fantastic. The writing, the acting is off the fucking charts. I'm glad that they're using practical effects on this. Only a couple scenes, I guess, are like, and that's like background windows are done CGI. The rest is all practical and shot on location. And I want to give a shout out to you guys. Did you guys talk about it in the last week's episode, or did we the other week Reboot?
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, I think you talked about
the
it,
one
Nick.
on Hulu. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, where they. Yep, exactly.
And yes, you talked about it, and it's good. It's fantastic. But I want to give fucking Paul Reiser his flowers. Jesus, he's so good in that.
Yeah,
Paul Reiser is fucking amazing in that show. But my main topic of reviews, what I'm going to review, is Carter had me sit down and watch a Christmas classic that I had never seen before. Ladies and gentlemen, I watched Krampus.
Oh boy, I saw that.
Okay,
I saw that.
Okay, it was awful. It was dumb, but it was fantastic. I mean, it is. It was. You had to enjoy it for what it was. Like they didn't take itself too seriously. I mean, what is it? David Koechner. He was an
I like how anything that starts with a "k" sound, you automatically say "cock," and then it corrects itself.
Well,
Koechner, Koech.
It's always in my mouth. So what can I say? And Adam Scott is in it also. Yeah, it is so silly. And
who's Adam Scott? Is that the guy
from Parks and Rec? He ended up marrying.
And Step Brothers and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, right. He's the brother. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking it was. I just couldn't recall.
Yeah, but I suggest if you're looking for a silly Christmas movie, it is a Christmas /horror /comedy movie. I'm not sure it's appropriate for how do I put this? children of a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
If there are, I don't know who would be listing this, but I'm not going to be that guy. If there's certain children who still have that Christmas wonder and belief,
Okay.
if you know what I mean, probably not the movie to show them.
No.
Sure.
Or
But if
you
they're,
like
they're
good,
already,
if you're an
Go
adult
ahead.
if you're an adult that likes good movies, also not
probably
for you.
not.
It's not
Come
the
on,
one for you.
It's
Yeah.
you got to know what you're watching. It's I don't seek it out. But like if it's playing and you're flipping through, stop and watch a few minutes. It's
I
silly,
think,
but it's fun.
honestly, what you guys are saying right now, that is my problem with horror movies. That's why I don't watch them. I can't think of one that I'm like, this was good. Like, they're all bad. Like, they're
Right.
all real
And this-
bad.
And this is the same boat, except it doesn't like it's almost winking at. It's like it knows what it is.
Oh, it knows it's terrible.
Yeah. Like, did
Yeah.
you guys ever see that Drag Me to Hell with Justin Long and like
I like that. That's a Sam
No.
Raimi movie.
it
Dude.
was like, so what you're saying
It's like an
about
Evil
this was
Dead, Evil Deadish type
was
movie.
because
That
it was
good.
hilarious because it was so silly. It was so
Right.
silly. Like the eye popping and the goat coming. It was just dumb as shit. Like so cheesy, over the top. And you're like, so they're trying to make this bad because it's bad. Like this really
Right.
stupid.
Like there's certain scenes where like they're clearly ripping off Home Alone. They're ripping off Gremlins.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that they're taking liberties with, but yeah, come on, it's a silly fun movie. If you get around and it's on whatever channel you're flipping by, stop and watch it.
Yep. If you're in a luxury bunker and you're trapped, waiting for radiation to die down to venture out, and you come across it,
Give it a
yeah,
run.
maybe check it out.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Brian, have you seen anything worth talking about?
I haven't seen a whole lot of. No, not really. Honestly,
All right, moving on.
Yep. Yeah. No, but I agree with you on Andor. I saw Wasp. That was.
Would you
worth it.
call him?
Yeah, you dealing with some wet ass senior.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, he's allowed to say that.
I don't want to say the word.
Fucking
I don't wanna get in
teacher's pet
trouble.
down there.
Brian still likes me. I don't want to say the word.
WASP does stand for, by the way, we are sexual perverts. That is what it stands for, apparently.
Oh,
And that's what you stand for.
yeah. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. No, but I agree with you on Andor, Dean. I'm current on that. I watched the last episode just tonight, actually, before this episode.
Good,
I agree.
right?
Just terrific.
Dude, that last one.
Great stuff. I also saw the first episode of the Tales of the Jedi too, with the Kosha. Great. I mean, like you said, the animation was great. Like I said, exactly what you guys said. 15, 20 minutes. The animation's terrific. The story was
Quick,
good.
it's fun.
Yeah, so I'll definitely go back and watch the rest of those.
Kind of like Nick's sex life.
It's quick. It's fun. Hey, man, I ain't got time to waste. Get in, get out. Have some fun. Let's go.
I'm
I got this
finishing the last
mustache to
season. That's right. That's right. I'm finishing the last season of The Walking Dead. It's 11 seasons. It's the very last episode is this coming Sunday. And then there's already Walking Dead other shows out there. They're going to branch on into more, but just the original series is coming to an end. Episode 1, show 1, I watched it. I got hooked into it immediately. I've watched it, faithfully all these seasons. And, it's always interesting. So if you're a Walking Dead fan, check it out. You're probably already watching it if you're a fan, but if you never saw The Walking Dead, it's worth it to me to go back and just start.
Do you have some
going through it.
predictions of how it ends? Do you think Bob Newhart wakes up and it's all been a dream?
That would be funny.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. I'm interested to see if they bring back one of the main characters, Rick Grimes. Rick Grimes was a mainstay on that show, the sheriff, for many, many years, and the actor chose to leave the show. But he's the character. Everybody believes he's dead on the show, but he
knew the audience
he's not.
was leaving. He wanted to beat him to the parking lot.
I don't know, maybe, but they purposely show him get out of there. So he's alive, but none of the characters know that he's alive. So I'm wondering if they bring him back in, he makes a cameo or something like that. That would be pretty cool. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But
now it's based off a comic book series, right? Not a book series.
That's right.
Correct.
That's right.
So
comic books. Yeah.
Are the comic books? Did the comic books?
They're
still running, or are they just an ongoing series, or is it like, did it end? Is there like an ending in comics to it, or do you know?
I don't know. I don't know that. I think the comic is still running. I'm not sure, but they use a lot of the storylines from the comic books. So,
like, I've seen current Walking Dead comics, but I don't know if that's it's like Spider-Man. It's like, well, there's a million different books and different versions of Spider-Man. Like, does there, if it was still the same storyline going?
I just think they're probably like, we've run these characters for many seasons, and they just want to do something different and have a couple branch out and just take it in a different direction. I think is what they're doing. So
I have a buddy at work that's a big fan, and he subscribes to AMC Plus or Extra or something like that, an AMC service that he pays $5 or something a month for, simply for the show, because he said that he gets to usually see it a week early. Well, for the finale this week, they did not, and he was all excited Sunday night because he thought he was going to watch it, and he was all like ready to go.
Spoilers.
And he was like, "They didn't. No, they didn't do it. They didn't do it. So they're waiting for everybody.
That's right. They have everybody see it at the same time. Yeah.
So,
and that's this coming Sunday.
This coming Sunday. Yep.
Grey Cup Sunday.
I'll be watching it.
Yes.
Yep. That's about it, really.
All right.
Okay, guys. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with some pop culture headlines and our idiot inquiry of the week, as Dean already alluded to. What would be the final song, or what is the end credits if the universe, or as the universe is ending? Trying to say. So we have some thoughts around that, and we'll bring that to you after the break.
No, not now.
You are a disgrace.
No, you are not my father. I am not a disgrace. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman!
Welcome back to Convincing Idiots. Pop culture headlines here, gentlemen. We had a comedic icon.
Class.
What's that?
Nick, I just tell him how classy he is.
Classy.
That's right.
Mustache and burps.
Yep.
Which is actually going to be the title of his autobiography.
Mustache and burps.
I like that. We had a comic icon pass away recently, you guys. So last Friday, Gallagher passed away at age 76. Now, he was definitely a big deal in the 80s. He was the number one comedian in America for 15 years. So he had quite the run there, late 70s up through like the mid 80s range. He was definitely very
Dunham
popular.
Era. Yes.
Yeah. He had 14 Showtime specials and around 3,500 live comedy shows, according to his website. He toured for many, many years until during the pandemic. So
I heard he's choosing not to be cremated, but a giant mallet's just going to squish his body and splatter it amongst the crowd.
That'd be funny. Or just smash an urn or something. That'd be kind of funny. Yeah. So he's definitely known for that big sledgehammer. So if you just sort of remotely know him at all, you've seen clips of him with the sledge-o-matic bit that he did, where he would smash produce and always ended with a watermelon that would spray everywhere. I saw him live once at the Akron Civic Theater. We won tickets off the local radio station at the time. Got a picture with him, so it's in a photo album somewhere. He was a very nice man, very patient.
Nick, that's a book that we used to keep hard copies of pictures in. You'd place them one next to each other, and you could flip the page and see other rows of pictures.
Why didn't you just swipe? Why didn't you just...
No. You can't do that. It's an actual book. Yeah. It's like an album, like a photo album, like you'd hold
like a
baseball
record?
cards. No. It's a book with pictures in it. Never mind. Brian,
like a laptop, but you can't swipe?
No, I don't. He's not.
It's like swiping pages. That's it. Yep. Yep.
Does not register.
I'll explain later.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, so again, you've seen that bit, but he was actually a very smart comedian. So if you've never seen his bits, he'd go back and watch some of his specials, and the sledge-o-matic portion was actually a very small portion of his show. It was always like the very last few minutes. That's all he did. It was like the last 5-10 minutes or something. He did the produce. But most of his show was just observation-type comedy. And oftentimes he had pretty elaborate props and stuff that would made it interesting. But anyways, I thought he was funny. He wasn't a dirty comic at all. Just kind of a little bit of racy stuff.
Why do they call Wednesday Hump Day when most people get laid on the weekends?
Was that one of his jokes?
That was one of his jokes.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Gallagher when I was little. I do want to say that I do acknowledge and not condone what he became in his later years. He did go on to have some extreme points of views.
We're talking Randy Quaid extreme, or are we talking like
extreme right wing?
So Randy
I
Quaid.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, right, yeah, but like Randy Quaid was like crazy, wasn't he? Like this was just.
I think he's still there. I don't think it's past tense though.
Okay, well from what I understand, he. Some racist, some homophobic stuff. Okay. Again, I didn't hear it. I just heard people talk about it, so I can't say firsthand that I heard these comments. No, actually, I did. I heard one that was.
No, actually, he did say them to me directly.
No. It was like whoever was talking about it played the clip.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I mean, but older people, some older people get that way. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not condoning it, but I'm just saying, is he was, like Brian said, in his youth, in his prime, he was a funny motherfucker, very smart. His comedy, he's not. It's a shame that he's looked at as the guy who smashes watermelons, because his actual comedic mind was pretty fucking funny. So
yes, thank you. I agree. All right. Yeah, I used to watch his specials on HBO or Showtime. Back as a teenager, they ran the old ones and all that. I've seen every one they had back at the time, probably, or several of them at least anyway. The very earlier ones are very funny because he would come out, and this is before the crowd was prepared at all for the produce smashing. So he'd come out there, and people would just be wearing regular clothes with no ponchos or plastic or anything like that, and he would just smash the and just get all over people, and people were just initially just shocked, until they finally got the idea. Okay, if we're going to go see this guy, we better start preparing for it. But
did the produce smashing have anything? Was it like did it have to do with anything? He was talking, how did that tie in?
It was just kind of a bit.
It was a gimmick.
The only thing I know of Gallagher is Dave Chappelle doing say his Gallagher impression, be like, "Y'all ready to smash some fruit?" Like that's. I don't think I even know what the guy looks like. I know he looks like how Dave Chappelle was dressed up. Like,
And it's also a shame what happened to him. He ended up getting, he kind of quote unquote retired his for a bit there, sold his act to his brother, and his brother went on to be Gallagher, and then they sued each other.
Right.
No, I'm Gallagher. No, I'm Gallagher.
Right. His brother ended up going around being calling himself Gallagher 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole mess. And I think that kind of fucking broke him. Like broke his brain and stuff. Because after that, that's when I started hearing like, oh, he's kind of going off in a different direction there.
Which Gallagher am I? Am I the funny one or the racist one? Am I the funny one or the homophobic one?
Right.
Am I the fruit smashing one or the hateful one?
Yeah, we saw Gallagher 5, and this guy was a nutcase. I don't know what was going on there. It was smashing
Gallagher 7.
batteries.
It just spent a half hour flicking peas at us. It was very strange.
Gallagher 5 wasn't smashing fruit anymore. He was smashing people in the unemployment line. It was very strange.
That's right.
Gallagher 10 was just smashing ass.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. All right, well, rest in peace, Gallagher. I'm with you. I don't condone any wacky right-wing commentary if that's what he was doing. But like you say, when he was younger, those specials were very good. All right, another a definite icon in the pop culture world. Kevin Conroy passed away last Thursday, 66 years of age. Poor man had cancer. If you don't know the name, you definitely know his voice. He was the voice of a Batman on the animated series, and many things, honestly. Animated series, the video games. It included 60 different productions, including the video games, 15 films, highlighted by Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So,
I like that one. That was on VHS. I had that shit.
Paired up with Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill did the Joker for many years. He just had a unique voice. He was not doing Christian Bale type Batman gravelly voice. He just had a booming voice, and that's what he used, and that was the voice. So many people know him as the voice of Batman in their youth and everything else. So
definitely
very talented voice actor.
I'm looking up his IMDb or whatever, and the list is incredible. The voice it does, but I do want you guys to. You ever get a chance? I don't know. Search it out, Google it. You know, do your own goddamn homework. But the documentary is called "I Know That Voice."
Okay.
And it goes and interviews a bunch of these people like him. He's in there that does all these voices throughout Hollywood for cartoons and stuff.
Yep.
And it's really cool. It's a fun documentary. So I recommend that. But he does it. He didn't do a whole he did Tour of Duty back in in the late 80s. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Tour of Duty, the Vietnam drama. Ran from 1987 to 1990. He was on an episode of Matlock. Yeah.
Oh, that's
everything else
big time there.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is just everything else is cartoons and voiceover stuff. So yeah, the guy has an incredible body of work.
Dean said he has an incredible body.
I'll stand by it.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
Dean thought
peace,
you had an
Kevin
incredible body.
Conroy. Yeah. I don't want Dean to. I hope I outlive Dean. I don't want him anywhere near my eulogy.
He will.
That's right. I shouldn't worry about it too much.
No,
I'm gonna hump both your asses.
He's gonna shit himself to death before. I mean, you've been going this long. It's no slowing down anytime soon.
Keep talking.
Go ahead. Talking
your junk, but out of all of us on this show right now, who's got pussy on them right now?
There you go. True.
You don't know what's in this mustache.
I do. Oh, look at him! Look
Ernie,
at him,
my friend.
There he is.
Look at him.
I just thought this was interesting.
Those of you who are not watching the YouTube, I was talking about the cat that's in my lap.
There's a cat here.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
that's all right. So the Christmas
No,
Story
Ernie
house.
is what we call Dean's portable friend that he keeps in his pocket.
Mhm. That's right.
It vibrates. Go ahead.
They're selling the fucking Christmas Story house, as I'm trying to say. So up in Cleveland. So we're in the Northeast Ohio area,
Goddamn
as you know,
kids.
if you listen to us at all. The house, they really just used the outside of the house in the movie. They used the street, the street. They called it Cleveland Street in the movie. Most of the movie was shot in Indiana, but they used the house and the neighbor's house in all the house shots of the movie. So in the city of Cleveland, somebody bought it years ago and restored it, made it look like the house in the movie. They do tours through it. There's a little museum close to there and a gift shop down the street. So you can go up to Cleveland now and buy. It's just right in the middle of just an old neighborhood in Cleveland. It's just so.
Can you imagine making that much money off such a shitty movie? It's incredible.
We've talked about this before. I still
We
think
have.
it's a
We do it every year.
There's some scenes I agree that I don't need to see again, but just the overall premise of a father trying to make it a nice Christmas for his family. That's the essence of it. Like in the last scene.
We get that in Jingle All
is
the
the
Way.
best.
It's like, what do we? Right. It's like we don't need that. But I get you.
What other shitty Christmas movies you guys make me watch this year?
The big difference of Christmas Story is, the father didn't commit any crimes or anything like that to try to give his child a nice gift for Christmas. Yeah,
I guess he
Probably
didn't love his family that much, then, did he?
Probably wasn't ultimately an Austrian spy, but
So this is making the local news around here because the whole compound is for sale. So the Christmas Story house, I guess the neighbor's house is included. A couple lots.
Speaking of the
they use for
sequel,
parking.
dropped on Netflix today.
Today, it's is it Netflix or HBO? I think it's HBO Max.
HBO Max.
HBO.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I didn't know it was coming out already.
Yes. So Thursday
Dropped
the
today.
17th, we're shooting this. It drops today. Yes, I'll definitely go check that out. I know I did hear
I
that
probably will too.
the sequel
Even though
was
I
made.
dislike the first one.
Yeah, the sequel was made in Hungary, nowhere near Cleveland. So I don't know if they used the house. Yeah, I don't know if they used the house at all.
Hungary?
And, that's what it said. Yeah,
Wow, okay.
probably cheaper production. Yeah.
So I did not.
Is Hungary cheaper than to shoot in fucking Cleveland? I don't know.
You
I
wouldn't
don't know,
think.
man. I don't know.
I was
That's
not
what
aware of
they
that
did.
before you
Bullets
said
flying
it.
around.
So did you
What's that?
say that the inside of the home scenes were not filmed in that home? It was Indiana. It was just from the outside.
It's just from the outside. The inside was a set or something like that. But now the guy that bought the house, or the people, whatever, the group that bought the house, they made it look like the movie set. So if you go up there and tour it, it looks like the movie set with the leg lamp and the living room and all that stuff. So it is cool to see. It's a very small house.
So all of this work and all the hoobaloo and all of the things that we've grown up with, this being the house from the stupid Christmas movie, all of this just because they used a fucking B-roll of a house in Cleveland, so it gets all this publicity.
No, they went
Really?
up and filmed. They filmed in Cleveland just the house scenes or whatever it is. All the scenes that you have the outside of the houses, those were in Cleveland. But the inside of the house, all that stuff
So
was
B-roll.
shot in Indiana, I guess.
That's kind of
There
what I
are
was.
scenes where the actors are, of course, coming out of the house and doing things around the houses, but that's it. They didn't go inside those houses.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at, though, is I was like, I didn't know that.
I thought it was shot
that
inside.
home, inside and out,
Yeah.
was because the majority of the movie, other than school and the yard and stuff like that,
Right.
takes place inside the house, which I always thought was that home. So
Hold on.
Correct
me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the downtown scene when they went shopping?
They did do that. You're right. That was Cleveland. That was the Higbee's building. Higbee, which is now the
There's no S?
Roxino. The
Sure.
Higbee's. Yeah. So that was an old department store in Cleveland. Like I said, now it's the Rock Casino up there by the basketball arena.
Yeah.
There's that building. So
Romo Fijo, the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
that's right. Thank you. That's it's known as now.
Yes.
Okay.
Rolls
So
off the
anyway,
tongue.
we'll see who buys it. And again, they say that there's not really a worry. It's going to be shut down and not not use the tours. And I guess you can also sleep there. There's like different with the events you can sleep in the house. I think that'd be kind of neat. So
It's super
I won
weird.
the lottery, I would buy that house and have like a secret event and invite all the fans to come. And then on that day when they came, it would be like a surprise demolition, and I would destroy the house in front of all the fans.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you tell them, calm down. The movie literally wasn't shot in this home, so it's fine.
Oh no, I'm destroying B-roll. Fuck out of here.
I never knew that. I thought the whole I don't know. I'm not coming from the same place of seething hatred that Dean is. I don't mind The Christmas Story. I think it's a little overhyped, but I think it's a fine movie. I'm a little annoyed now to find out that people make this big deal over that house, and it's not even the one that 90% of that movie shot in. It's weird. I didn't know that.
It's a bunch of bullshit, if you ask me.
Yep. Yep.
Interesting. Interesting.
He's given me a reason to dislike it more. That's
not
Thank
where
you,
you
Brian.
thought that conversation was going, did you,
didn't.
Brian?
He thought it'd bring us all together. The Christmas spirit. Brian, what's on your shirt? Sorry, I'm trying to figure it out all night.
It's the Mystic Seer from the Twilight Zone, which is the tattoo that I have here.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And I'll just add.
So give you a chance to show off your new tattoo.
That's right. So I got the Mystic Seer tattoo from the Twilight Zone previously, and just today, the Twilight Zone door. So it's got the swirly door with the door opening up at the beginning of the episode.
The hole in the center.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I like when you just give me more holes.
That's right. And these were done by our friend Scott Oswald from one of our esteemed sponsors over at Golden Heart Tattoos. So great job. This place, again, it's super clean. If you're in the Northeast Ohio area, the Norton area, I mean, it covers everything. These gloves, I feel very safe there to get tattoos done. Scott does a great job. He takes his time and makes sure you're happy with the work. So go check them out. You can look them up online at goldenhearttattoos.com. Find them on Facebook or give them a call at 234-706-2982 to schedule your personal appointment. So get yourself a Twilight Zone tattoo before the end of 2022. So yeah, very happy with it.
So when I blow this house up in front of all the fans, do I need to call Aaron Blake first for the house insurance, or maybe I should give him a call?
You want to have it insured
at
first.
234-571-5359. That is the number for Blake Insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free, that's right, I said free 5-minute quote today. And make sure when you do, tell them that jolly old Saint Nick.
I was You've got an easy one right on the panel if you'd like to throw me.
Right, I went with
it. Saint, hey, Nick, there you go.
Actually, honestly, in my head, I was about to say Saint Nicholas. And I was like, oh, wait, there's a Nick right here.
Hey, how about
that? I don't have to use the word dick. All right. Moving on.
Well, if you blow up the house, it would definitely be the end of some people's, maybe Christmas universes.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Yeah. So that kind of take us into our idiot inquiry. So now, Dean, you saw an interesting tweet.
Fucking segue, by the way, there, Brian.
Yeah, how about that? So what's
like he's doing actually fucking work here.
Yeah.
The tweet I saw, it pretty much was asking, and I don't have it up because my phone's filming this. To unfortunately give the guy credit. But the tweet was pretty much asking, when the world ends and the end credits roll, what song do you think is going to be playing?
Okay.
So, all the I mean, he's obviously making a joke. So, with all the chaos and craziness going on in the world, everybody's like, oh, this is the end of the world. When the end credits roll, what song are you hearing? I would like this. I have a couple. One, I'll start with mine, is Mad World.
Okay.
By what's his name? Hold on.
All around me of a million.
Yes, Jules.
I should stop singing before we get sued.
Yeah, we're
because
gonna not gonna use this on YouTube. You
the
son
likeness
of
was so just
uncanny,
spot on. Yeah. Mad World. I'll just fill time.
Gary Jules, Mad World is what I'm hearing at the end.
Okay.
Nice.
What about you,
Why?
Brian?
Why do you hear that?
Why, baby? Why?
Well, the lyrics talking about just kind of like in the beginning, looking around at all the faces, worn out faces. Everybody's kind of drugged down and everything's going crazy, and that's the result. That's how we got here. Mad World,
Okay.
And it's just a haunting song, like his voice and the music. It seemed appropriate to me in my head.
Okay.
When this all ends, it's just that that haunting melody and his higher pitched voice, and yeah. So
okay. Nice. First song that came to mind for me. There's a local show in this again in the broadcast out of Cleveland for many years. Big Chuck and Little John. So just two local guys for several years would host a Friday night show, a live show out of Cleveland, Ohio. They would do skits and different things and have this old B horror movies and all that. So it was a Friday night staple as a child for many years. It was a big deal to stay up and watch Big Chuck and Little John as a child. And if you made it to the very end of the show, they played the same song, and it's stuck in my head for all those years. It's Peggy Lee, Is That All There Is? So she just kind of, the chorus is that all there is? If that's all there is, let's break out the booze and have a ball. And that's it. So it's a fitting end to the end of the universe. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nick, you got one?
I do. You are both wrong. There's only one correct answer. There's only one correct answer to this question. As our Earth comes undone, whether it be from natural catastrophe, whether it be from humankind waging war upon one another to the brink of destruction, whatever it may be, when the final credits roll, gentlemen, there is only one song that can play, only one choice, and it is very obviously Yakety Sax, the Benny Hill theme song.
It's funny. It's on my list too. It is on my list. It is. Yakety Sax.
I did all that to be funny. That's not. I don't even know. I just thought it was funny. Yep. The first song I had written down is actually "Symphony of Destruction" by Megadeth. Just a very fitting song. Just a very. I love
on
Megadeth.
my list too, Nick.
What,
on
is
my
it?
list also.
Yeah, nice. Yep. So, "Symphony of Destruction" by Megadeth is just a very. I don't know that it's. It depends on the type of movie, I guess. If this is an action movie and it's some big dramatic ending, I could see a place where Megadeth's "Symphony of Destruction" fits in these credits of the movie of the world. But I just think it's a fitting theme for any end time type of situation. That. So, "Symphony of Destruction."
What about Louis Armstrong? "It's a Wonderful World."
That's a good one.
I like that.
I mean, great song. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the irony,
sure.
Kind of like what the interview that he gave. He said, with all the racism and the violence and everything going on in the world, why do you sing that song every night? He says, well, I think that we're better than that. I think deep down inside, we're better than what we're showing. And I have faith in mankind. I have faith in humanity. That's actually in a version of that song I've heard on the radio, that portion of that interview, and then they play it.
Nice.
So yeah, with the
Very good.
melody and his voice.
Yeah,
So,
beautiful
nice.
song. Beautiful song.
Yeah,
Brian,
I like that.
I was gonna try to do one, but A, I don't want this not to be on YouTube, and B, I don't know right now with my with going on with the sinus shit, I don't know that I could do it.
Okay.
But when I'm healthy, I can do some Louis Armstrong. I tell you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
I'm gonna hold you to that. We're gonna call back to that at some point.
Baby, you can hold me to that all night long. You can hold me as close as you want.
Do you think that's Louis Armstrong? Because you're wrong. If that's the American dream, baby, Louis
I'm
Armstrong.
the American dream. I can do any voice I want.
What a beautiful.
Oh, not today.
There you go.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's good.
We'll have Dean do an outro as Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. I have The Doors. This is the end.
Perfect.
This is the end. My only friend. The end. Haunting song by them. One of my favorites by The Doors.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Nick, you have another one?
I do. Well, in a similar vein of what Dean was saying about Louis Armstrong, you know what I mean, like the human spirit endures. He believes in humankind and that we're better than this. And I think that even if humankind or the world were to come undone, I would like to think that if nothing else, the human spirit there's still something, I don't know, there that would endure. I like to think that no matter what, the heart will go on. And I feel like Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On is just, I mean, if I'm going to be played out by anyone.
Like that song was?
Whose voice better than the Celine Dion, Quebec's own Celine Dion? My Heart Will Go On. I would love that. I mean, I know now that we've put it in the framework of if this were a movie, I realize it's been used. But still, I think it's even though we're gone, our hearts will go on. See, that's very nice, lovely. Yes.
Yes. There you go, Dean.
I know it's hard to follow, but you have to go again.
It is hard to follow. I don't know how to top garbage, so I'm gonna go with the cliche.
Yes, you do. You and I have had many sleepovers together. You know how to top garbage. Yes, you do.
You are a power bottom, and that is why I'm gonna go with the cliche. REM. It's the end of the world as we know it.
Right.
When I said yakety sax, were you thinking in my lead up that I said that was the correct
I was.
answer?
I thought that's what it was going to be.
Initially, when this question was posed, that's end of the world. Like that's just that's the song that pops in your head. At least it did mine. That seems to be the glaring, obvious answer. I would think.
Right. That's like when somebody goes, "What song do you hear playing when you're playing poker?" The Gambler. It's a given choice.
Sure. Yes.
Brian, you got another one?
Yeah, I've got one I got a couple here from the Beatles, but Yesterday, the Beatles. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Yes.
Yeah?
I believe in yesterday. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One of their best songs, in my opinion.
So my next one was going to be Beatles, but I'm going to try to go different. Because I think I know if you already have the other one. Nick, what do you have?
Well, I like the idea of, especially if this is a movie, and the credits roll. I just like the idea of being Rickrolled. I think "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley would be a fantastic choice.
That would be fine. Right. Yeah, that'd be a cheerful way to go out.
We're no strangers to love. Yeah, that'd be great. Especially if this was like a hardcore drama, very serious.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden,
as the sun engulfs the earth, never gonna
I'm going Actually, I have the kind of the same thought. Same time period. I'm going
Mhm.
Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good one.
Very good. One of the best songs of the 80s, for sure, right there.
Yep.
I'll just use the other Beatles one. I had Here Comes the Sun. So just obviously...
Oh, so I can use the third one. Okay.
Yeah, so just obviously just, looking out on the horizon for a new start, a new beginning.
Yep.
There you go.
Nick,
Go ahead.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm out. I only wrote down 3. That was it for me.
see, I actually didn't write any of these down. This is all off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. There you go.
But the other one that I would go with is Across the Universe by the Beatles.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that's a
familiar
good
with that one.
Okay. You Google
You
it or
should-
download or whatever. It's
Okay.
it's a good
Yeah.
song.
Have you
Okay.
you've never seen that movie, Across the Universe?
It's so good. It has one of the best covers of I Want to
all
Hold
of
Your
them.
Hand. I Want to Hold Your Hand. Her name's TV Carpio. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but that's the actress. And she does the cover version of I Want to Hold Your Hand. Beautiful. Amazing.
Yeah.
And the whole
Mine-
movie is just terrific.
Yeah. For me, is Evan Rachel Wood singing Blackbird. Like,
Yeah.
it's the reason that I know Beatles songs, honestly. That movie
Sure.
is the only reason
And-
I know any of their songs. And it made and ruined them for me at the same time. Like, it just,
Sure.
because I can't listen to their version of their songs and, like,
Right.
enjoy them. Because, like, that soundtrack is just incredible. But it's so good. Such a great movie. It's a musical. I mean, basically. But it's so good.
It's not even basically. It is straight
It
up
is,
musical,
yeah,
but
it is
all the
musical,
music is Beatles songs.
Right. Yep.
It's based about kind of just
Uh,
that period in the 60s.
What's the name of the guy, the lead? Jude. What's the Jim?
It's not
No.
Jude Law.
No. He was in that He was in that movie with the 21 or
The
whatever.
Gambler?
Nah,
Kenny
the one
Rogers?
where they do the cards. What's that kid's name? English kid.
Was it
Oh,
Alec
fuck.
Guinness?
Here's not the place for this, but I don't remember what his name was. He's in.
I'm
Jim Sturgis.
Googling it right now.
Jim Sturgis.
Jim Sturgis? Sturgis?
Yes. It was he and Evan Rachel Wood are like the leads in the movie. Fantastic movie. Bono's
Yeah,
in it.
Brian,
It's
you
great.
really should watch it.
Yeah,
Very
very
good. I had one more. I actually had 2
Yes.
Megadeth songs next. So the last one I had here was Countdown to Extinction by
Hey,
Megadeth.
there you go.
Okay.
Nice. That's a good one.
Fantastic song. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's what I
Countdown
asked
to
you guys.
Extinction's perfect.
Yeah.
Can't believe I overlooked that one.
I
Interesting.
think
Go ahead.
that was no. I was about to say what you were. That's a good question.
Mhm. Yeah, kudos to the guy. We'll find the tweet, put it up, we'll post it, and
absolutely
give the guy proper credit who came up with that. So yeah, very interesting. Good discussion topic question. So you joked about yakety sax. Like I've mentioned this before. I've joked with my friends that it's a fine song to play at your funeral. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the last song I want them to play at my funeral. Is if you take me out and whether I'm in an urn or a coffin, whatever it is, if you just have whoever's the pallbearers just chase around some women in like short skirts and stockings, like the Benny Hill show.
Yeah.
Just run one lap around the cemetery or something like that, and that would be good. That'd be fun.
Nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, I see it. At the calling hours, you're laying in the casket. Everybody's kind of just very somberly standing there, and they're very sad. And then Nick and I in the background, he's going to be the wrangler of it.
Mhm.
I'm going to hit play. Yakety Sax going to play.
Yeah.
2 girls are going to run out to your casket around it. Nick's going to chase them around twice, run out. I'm going to stop the tape, and we're not going to mention anything about it. Everybody
Just
will be
carry
like,
on.
What the fuck just happened?
Business as
And
usual.
we will never mention a
great.
thing.
That's great. Yeah, I love it. Yep. Make people
plan.
laugh, hopefully, one more time.
Right.
Yep.
One
All right.
more
Yeah.
time. One more time.
Maybe for the first time.
For the first time.
Yeah,
He
the
finally
first and
did.
only time.
God damn it, those bastards. They
About
finally made me
time.
laugh.
Maybe we ought to listen to these guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. Oh, dude, that's going to be
How do you
all
do
we.
that
That's
anyway?
that's
Yeah.
all this podcast needs to take off. You notice musicians that die, the second they pass, their catalog through the roof. I'm just waiting for one
Painters,
of us
too.
to die, and then
Yep.
bam, through the
Mm-hmm.
roof.
I'm
through the
working
roof.
on it.
Content, yeah, right.
Yep.
Content.
Of course,
I mean,
Of course, if I
golden.
die before you guys, it could just come to a screeching halt. It's just everything stops.
That's true.
So,
Well,
yeah.
sorry you missed it, but our editor and literally everything else to the show
First of all,
kind of went with Brian. So
First of all, Mr.
if you're looking for an
Important,
opportunity.
what's going to happen, Mr. Important, is when if you died now, Nick and I will do this every Thursday. I mean, it'll just be a video call. We won't put it on there, but we will still pretend like we're doing a show.
Yeah.
Sure.
It'll be like old time TV. But like if you want to see it, you got to be on, like come to where we
Tune
are
in.
and watch it in person.
Right.
Tune in.
It'll
and
just be a
actually
live
see it.
show at our
Yeah,
house.
no
in our
on demand.
underwear.
No on demand shit.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. There you have it. I love it. All right, guys, we're going to take a break here, and we're going to come back with our main segment this evening, sitcoms. So some of our best sitcoms, favorite sitcoms of all time. We're going to each do our personal
How long is the
Mount
next segment?
Rushmore
Because I
of
have enough for a good
sitcoms.
3 hours to discuss.
Well, probably not that.
Not
Okay.
3 hours, no. But
Fair enough.
we'll do your top four, and then we'll do or top 4 or 5. We did 5. We normally do. Excuse me. I think you do a few honorable mentions or something like that. So yeah, so your top 5 sitcoms of all time. So come back to us after the break and see if yours
I have a lot
makes
of
our
work to
list.
do.
Yeah, and if not, tell us about it on comment and all that good stuff. So we'll be right back.
You ever get something on your shirt and try and get it off like that? That's dry cleaning.
The first of NBC's summer hits.
It's completely shrunk. You got a receipt? What do you think? This is a little scam I have? I take this tiny shirt all over the city, conning dry cleaners out of money?
Seinfeld premiering Thursday after Cheers on NBC.
What's up, bitches? We are back here on Convincing Idiots. I am your millennial Nick. Yes, you're damn right. I'm here with Xennial Dean, Gen X Brian, and we are back for our third and final
What are you,
segment.
a 90s
today's
TV show host?
show. I am, yes. This is Welcome Back to Singled Out, bitches. And we're going we're to find today's sexiest and sluttiest singles on segment number 3. Oh!
So extreme.
Too extreme. And anyway, I'm sorry, bitches. I'm sorry. Let's calm down. Bitches. All right.
Bring it down.
So today, for our final segment, our one of our main talking points, we thought it would be fun to bring back the Mount Rushmore and talk about, because there are so many that we could probably put up here. But if we stick to our idiot Mount Rushmore, which, to refresh your memory, as idiots, our Mount Rushmore has 5 instead of the traditional 4. So our top 5, if you will, of our favorite sitcoms. Now, let me tell you something. When I was compiling my list, sitcoms, I think initially, comedy, right? Haha, good times. Okay, good times. Initially, I know a sitcom stands for situational comedy. But when I think of good times and sitting down, I think of nothing more than our friends. I think nothing more than our friends at RPM Bike Shop, who offer you the best opportunity to have a good time whilst sitting down on one of their electric bikes. That's right. So if you have not done so already, if you've listened to the show before, you already know I'm always telling you about RPM Bike Shop, how incredible they are, how incredible their electric bikes are. If you don't believe me, which, first of all, shame on you.
You tell me all the time.
If you don't believe me, go see for yourself, okay? I dare you. Prove me a liar. Go in the search bar up there. Search for RPM Bike Shop, okay? Go look at their wonderful products. If you think that is a hoax, go to their website, rpmbikeshop.com. There you can see the pictures of their magnificent electric bikes that they have to offer you. They're located in Carrollton, Ohio, not so far from here. And if that's not enough for you either, drive your ass to Carrollton. Look at an RPM bike for yourself today. Or you can give them a call, 330-808-7792. Let me tell you again, just so you don't think I'm putting you on, 330-808-7792. Hit up our friends at RPM Bike Shop today to ride your way to an electric revolution today. RPM Bike Shop, convincing idiots, told you what's up. So that is initially, obviously, when you think of sitcom, comedy, funny, sit down, RPM, right? Okay, let's just wipe your memory for just a moment.
I know normally
Not
you
too
think
much.
when you think that you think of the bike without the seat.
Right. Well, that's more of a sit pleasure or a sit joy, if you will.
I'm sorry, I get those confused. I'm sorry.
I think comedy fun, like this is more fun. That's a different kind of fun. That's a more
Still fun.
Children listen to this. So this is this is a family show.
My apologies.
So we'll stick here. But I digress. We are talking today about our favorite sitcoms, right? So situational comedies. Any type of show, whether it be from yesteryear, from present day, anything. What are your top 5, your Mount Rushmore of sitcoms? They could be special to you. You could think that they were incredible for pop culture. You could, which is kind of what we do here. Any reason you want, it is your Mount Rushmore. So, Brian, you were around before the original Mount Rushmore. You get the lead. You get to start.
I guess we'll do. You want to do like one at a time? So here's one on my
sure,
Mount Rushmore.
whatever.
Let me do it that way. Go around.
Can we first admit that I don't think Nick has ever said the word situational more at one time than this episode in his life?
Can I tell you something? Complete clarity here. I always thought sitcom for some reason meant like sit down and watch a comedy. Like when I was a kid. When I heard the word sitcom, I'm really. When did you know? I bet you anything that you found out that sitcom stood for.
You are talking to the
comedy.
wrong person on this one, bud. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know that's because it's never been like laid out. I just thought so. For example, you have stand-up comedians. I thought sitcom was like when they invented a show that you sit down in front of the television and watch a comedy. It's a sitcom.
It's a stand-up sit down.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay. It makes sense.
I guess and a little mullet-headed boy sitting in, they're hearing this for the first time. I guess between Mountain Dew sips, I guess that would be the common.
I think it makes more sense than situational comedy because when we were compiling our list, I'm like, I'm gonna Google what the technical because I think I know what my sitcoms are, but I'm like, what actually fits under the umbrella?
Wait, are you telling me you didn't know this until you did the research for this episode?
Yeah. Situational? I did not know situational was what sit part of sitcom stood for.
I thought you learned it, like when you were a little older child.
Because it doesn't make sense. It's weird. They're like, it's basically any show with reoccurring characters, which are, by the way, all shows before reality television. So any show with reoccurring characters in a situation, it's like, well, that's fucking every show ever before reality TV was invented or a news program.
Next week, guys, tune in. We're going to be doing sit drams.
Sit drams.
Where you sit down and watch dramas.
Mm-hmm.
If they called everything like that, it would make sense. But sitcom implies when they invented the television and the families got together and
you knew what the com part was.
Well, yeah, comedy, yeah.
So you thought they shortened one word, but not the other.
What? They're both short.
Yes, situation, comedy.
Right, but sit down would be shortened as well. It's a sitcom.
All right. Let's get started. Our
you don't even want to know
comedies.
What I thought that like found dog posters were. We'll talk about that on another episode.
I so do.
I found this out when I was like 28. So
okay.
Nick just yesterday was driving down the road and it said slow kids at play, and he's like, well, that's rude. You don't want to call them out.
You can't say that anymore. You have to say a different word at play. Okay, I'll do this. Can I do this briefly, Brian?
Yes, please. Absolutely.
I will tell you. I will tell you. Found dog. Up until I was like 27, 28 years old, when I would see a found dog poster on a telephone pole, I always thought that it meant, hey, remember that post that was said lost dog?
Mm-hmm.
Stop looking. The dog's found. Like, I thought it was the owner being like, we found the dog. That
We
lost
got
dog one that we got him. You stop looking. He's found.
Okay.
I thought it was the owners being courteous
I
that they
can
found
relax.
the dog. Now you can stop frantically searching.
Mm-hmm.
Robin informed me that was people who had found a dog that they did not know who the owner was, and that person should call them if they're looking for this dog. I did not know that. I thought the people from the previous lost dog ad had found their dog that you were already looking for, so you may cease searching for said dog.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, do you have the same urge to like rub the top of his head and call him Squirt? Just okay.
I will.
Okay,
I'm going to ask every person I fucking know about situational comedy. That's bullshit.
Do.
Nobody knew that shit. Nobody knew that.
Well,
nobody
only
that's
if
my
we had
age
some sort
or
of
younger
actual
knew that shit.
way to take a poll, like through social media or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need subscribers and listeners for that shit. No one's gonna answer. I'm gonna ask people that I know, and they're gonna be like, I don't know what I thought it, because like me, they'll be like, sitcom just kind of means like a TV comedy.
Wait a minute. How are you gonna ask the question? How are you gonna ask the question?
I'm going to say, what does sitcom stand for?
Okay.
And they can tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending on if they say situational or not, or they go,
see, this doesn't count because I know where you work, and if you go in tomorrow, start asking those gentlemen, any sort of questions, you can't count that for any sort of intelligent response.
See, look at you already. Look at you already stacking the deck in your favor because you know everybody that works there is your age or older. So you're like, oh, well, if they don't know, then they're just dumb. So
no, if they're as old as
your age or older,
then fine, they will know it. Right? It's common knowledge, right?
I'm sure I did not know it when I first heard the term, but I heard it. I can't remember when I picked it up and.
Okay, I will also, and we have a text thread, between the three of us tomorrow. Brian doesn't interact with human beings on his daily basis, so he doesn't get to play along. But I will go ahead and ask people, and I will take a tally of how many people get it correct and how many people get it wrong.
How many stupid people do you work with, though, too?
We'll put it out there on social media. We'll see if anybody responds.
I don't have that many fingers and toes.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, sitcoms.
Yes.
Situational comedies.
Yep.
Brian, go.
Who's starting? I'll start.
You.
Okay. Well, one of my favorite shows, period, of all time, makes my Mount Rushmore, Seinfeld. Seinfeld I've watched, just love that show. I always liked Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up prior. When the show came on, I watched it immediately. Took me a couple episodes to get hooked into it. But once I did, we all know what Seinfeld is. Just several episodes are hilarious. The characters are great. The writing is funny.
I still have a magazine for that last episode.
Really?
They put out a magazine, and I went and bought it. I was a huge fan.
I just don't get tired of it. If it's on and you catch even 10 minutes of it, you're going to catch if something's going to make you laugh.
Yep.
At least for me anyway. And quotable. That's one of those shows that definitely entrenched itself in pop culture, like you say.
Absolutely.
It's very quotable, like you say. There's moments. There's things that are relatable. You talk about even like Festivus.
Right.
I
have a beer in my fridge right now, Festivus.
See?
Yeah,
There
it was a real thing that one of the writers, his dad, actually made a holiday Festivus. But now, since then, people have Festivus parties. I participated in Festivus themed parties. Actually, we talked about doing that ourselves here, guys. We'll have to talk about that off podcast. But yeah, it's just that's it. It's a cultural icon.
To me,
Still
it could be
streaming.
It could be number one. Like if there was an actual ranking, to me, Seinfeld arguably could be number one.
Absolutely. So there you go. Seinfeld. Dean, go ahead.
I will go next. I will go with, if Seinfeld's already on the table,
You can use your personal list. It's still your personal list, even if we have overlaps.
Okay,
You don't have to not
but
use Seinfeld because
I will name
did.
that later.
Gotcha.
I'm going Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers was again cultural. You know, the night of the last episode, it was like the Super Bowl or MASH.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was it was a cultural event.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with from like Norm Peterson to Woody Harrelson, you know, the stars that it made, the cultural impact that it had.
Sure.
And just so goddamn funny, still holds up today.
Mm-hmm.
So Cheers is my first pick on my Mount Rushmore.
And we talked about this on our finale episode too. One of the best finales of all the series as well. Cheers.
Absolutely.
Yep. Nick?
I will go. Girls.
I will go with my favorite show of all time. It is Powerpuff Girls. My favorite show of all time is Friends. And you know, it was funny. Robin and I, quick story, we were playing the charades game this weekend on the phone, where you flip up or down. You know, you try to explain stuff to people, and so mine was Jerry Seinfeld, and I said one of the biggest. Well, like one of like nine, you know, because the deck was 90s, so I'm like one of the biggest comedians, one of the biggest shows in the 90s period, you know, and like just Friends and all this stuff, and I'm like, but Seinfeld to me represents the 90s so well.
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue that Friends is definitely one of those big 90s show, but again, a testament to how well it was written and how well it was done. You see the comeback of it right now. It is so popular amongst like young kids right now. Like everybody watches Friends. It's a massive deal. Like it's come full circle, and it's every bit as popular amongst kids in high school and college right now.
It's always on somewhere.
Yeah, and I don't know that
flip through. It's on somewhere.
A show quite like that, because I know I loved it when it was on the first time, and I've watched it, you know, like repetitively throughout my life. It's just always been on. It doesn't matter how many years it's been off the air. We're always watching it. Every single day, I see at least one Friends episode every day of my life, without fail.
Nick, it's just I think what you're talking about, like Seinfeld encapsulates the 90s. Friends went from 94 to 2004. So it had that gap of like the turn of the century.
Yeah, I guess so.
It lives 1 foot in one decade, one in the next, and it works.
Yeah.
It works so well for both.
Yes. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah. So, but yeah, Friends, I mean, it's hands down my favorite show ever. The characters are fantastic. Like I said, the writing, the comedy, the jokes, everything still holds up today. And I mean, yeah, that's a easy free space for me. So, Friends.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, Brian.
Modern Family for me.
That's a good one.
Modern Family. It's just, you know, it's one of the most. It's one of the best written of all time. Period. Just every episode. They did such a good job too of having. This is one of the things of a good sitcom, is that you don't have just one main storyline like Seinfeld and things. There was always a couple stories. There was one main plot, but they always have very good subplots in every episode that all tie together very nicely.
Seinfeld did that too. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I just said. Yeah,
weird stuff, and then ultimately at the end, it all kind of meshes some way.
Right. Exactly. But you know, Modern Family did that so well, and again, just every single solitary actor, from the kids to the adults, stellar, rock solid jobs, all of it. I just loved it. That was a show, and that's another thing. That why does it make my list? If every episode I looked forward to watching until it went off the air. Friends for me, Nick, over time, this is just me. There was a point where I wasn't excited to watch it anymore. I watched it because it was on. I had watched so many of them. I kind of wrote it out type deal. So it's for me anyway. But Seinfeld, Modern Family for me. Cheers. I made my list too, Dean. I look forward to watching it every single solitary week until it went off the air. Well, there's some episodes better than others, of course, but it just had me that excited to see it every single week. So Modern Family, without question, one of the best shows, period, let alone sitcoms in my book.
I remember watching the pilot when it first aired, and I remember thinking how creative it was the way they did it, because they kept cutting from each individual family, and then at the end you find out who they are to each other. Like they're following. I don't know. I mean, I only watched the first probably 4 or 5 seasons religiously, but they'd follow each individual sector, and then you find out, oh, that's their dad, and these are the siblings, and this is their family. So it was kind of. I remember thinking how cool it was the way that they did the pilot of that show.
And just unique too. I mean, that's I guess is what they call it, Modern Family. They had modern situations. You had the older man married the young
what was that word?
Trophy wife. What's that?
What was that word? Situations?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like situational. It's
were you sitting down when you were watching it, Brian?
Yeah. Married the younger trophy wife, and then you had the gay couple, and then you had the regular family. That's the typical mom and dad thing. So just
nuclear family. Yeah,
exactly. So anyway. Great show. Dean, what else you got?
All right. I'm going to go a little old school, and I'm going what probably if Seinfeld's my number 1, my number 2 is the television show MASH. MASH to me was my childhood. I remember every episode. Like there's honestly not an episode, and there was over how many episodes were there? Over 100. I mean, 200. I mean, like it went for a very, very long time. It
was a good 10 years at least. Yeah.
There's not an episode that I don't remember vividly. It's kind of like for me, Star Wars or professional wrestling. It's just always been in my life. Like it's just always been there. It's like a comfort blanket type deal. It was so well written and acted, and even as they cycled through some of the cast, it never lost a beat. Some say the last season got a little wonky, but that was only because they were done and they convinced them to come back for like 6 episodes or whatever just to wrap it up. So you weren't getting the gold standard, but even that last episode,
terrific,
was incredible. The acting from Alan Alda and directing was incredible. So yeah, to me, MASH is next on my list.
Yeah, and obviously that show it was funny, but they also exposed you to real hells of war. I mean, there were deaths in that, tragedy.
They didn't shy away from it.
No, it sure didn't.
One of the most I think I probably talked about this actually in the Christmas episode, which is weird, but it was Christmas time and they were trying to save this guy. They knew he was circling the drain, and it was Christmas Eve, and they're trying to save him, and Hawkeye's pounding on the guy's chest, and
there's a guy called Hawkeye.
Yeah,
the superhero.
No, same name. I think they stole it from him.
Just nickname.
Okay,
but they're like, stop. He's dead, and it was like 11:45. So he went. BJ opened up the clock and pushed the hands forward. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I don't want his kids to associate Christmas with their father's death. So they fudged the number. You know what I mean? Like it was they were focused. Like within the comedy, there was like some serious shit going on. So to me, that was always one of the most powerful, moments like that. So yeah, I love MASH.
That was in my household too, Dean. That was before the days when that show was on. There's no VCR yet when that show was popular, super popular. That was like, get the family together. MASH is on tonight.
Yep.
Pop the popcorn, get everything
Nails,
settled
Dick.
in, or watching MASH tonight. Yeah, I did that for many years with my parents as well. So, yep, good stuff. Good memories watching that show too.
Absolutely.
Deed had many lit cigarettes put out on the back of his hand from that show, Nick. Yep. Don was like, it didn't change the channel fast enough or something.
We could probably stop talking about that. That's not.
Boy.
Go change the channel. Psst. MASH is on.
So yeah,
Shut up.
all right. So what's the what's the
Sorry, bringing back too many memories for Dean. Sorry about that. Nick, you have it. What else do you have on your list?
So next up for me would be a very important one, also very 90s, but the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's a
Fresh
good
Prince was, again, I mean, a very funny show. Again, a lot of the stuff still holds up today, but kind of, I mean, I've never seen an episode of MASH, but from what you're describing, like the a lot of like it.
How have you never? No, never mind. Go ahead.
Just pass
I was born in 1988. Okay, so we've done this on many other shows. I've not seen a lot. I've never seen Cheers. I've never seen.
My point is, you've been in my parents' house.
I don't watch it. It's on. I don't sit there and watch it. They also play 2.5 Men, Dean. So like, I don't watch everything that's on the TV.
Fair enough. Okay.
But no, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like there again, especially like for the time in the 90s and stuff like that, they touched on a lot of very serious issues. You know, I mean, they kept it light for, you know, probably a good 85% of the time. But for that other 15%, there was a lot of really good messages in there. There was a lot of
when his
good
dad
lessons
came back and then went away.
Yeah, like why didn't he want me? And like just that, that whole thing, and the father figure that he found in Uncle Phil. And there was a really cool one where he went to a pool hall. And he was getting hustled.
Fucking
and
episodes.
Uncle Phil went in there and hustled him back.
Give me Charlene,
you know,
or
basically,
Shirley, or whatever he named his pool stick or whatever.
Kind of went in there and like fucked him up and like showed him like, because I mean, Will would always, you know, being this young kid and being, you know,
right.
He would always write off Uncle Phil that he was rich, he had money, he didn't know what it was like to be hood, and he didn't, you know, all this other stuff. And you know, there was a lot of those through the years where Uncle Phil would kind of show his stripes to Will, you know what I mean? And
not only just
show
like
him,
the
show
character,
him where he
but
came
like,
from.
You don't realize like how good that fucking actor was. Like,
he was fantastic.
Amazing. Like looking back at it, before you're like, oh, it's just Uncle Phil, but like if you watch it now in like an adult standpoint, you're like, shit, that guy's acting
powerful.
Fuck out of that. Yeah,
powerful character. Very great, very very great character. Very great show. But yeah, I love the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and like I said, I think it just still holds up really well today, and always really like that one. So, Brian.
Very good. All right, another pop cultural icon. Used to watch it religiously for many, many years, kind of fallen off just because of time, but it's all out there on streaming. I'm telling myself you need to go back and pick it back up and get caught up again. The Simpsons, one of the longest running television shows, period.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
it's been 35 years or something.
It started like in 88, 89, something like that.
1889. Not a lot of people will remember that, but
that's right.
Brian does.
The instant smash. Yes, I remember back as soon as it came out. I just
so Nick calls first dates too.
Instant
smash.
Instant smash. That's right. Yeah, it was the first date with your sister, I believe. That's what he referred to as. Yep.
You're going to start down a line of jokes that we're going to get us both in trouble. So let's just stop there.
That's right. There's not many sitcoms that have like video games. So The Simpsons have video games, pinball machines, all kinds of stuff. I mean, you name it, The Simpsons is on it. It's the same, as we know, it's the same voice actors have been on there for all these years. And every episode, without fail, it would always make me laugh. There would be something on there that would make me laugh. So, love it. Like I said, I need to go back and get caught up with it, but definitely has to make the list of top sitcoms of all time. Even though it's animated, still one of the best sitcoms of all time.
Yeah,
hands down.
And it has brought out one of my favorite cheers when you are drinking. Homer Simpson's cheers to alcohol. the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Again, you see, you're talking about quotable. There are so many quotable things throughout the years on that. Just, it just Seinfeld got the same way. There's quotes that just make their way into everyday slang that came from that show.
Not only that, like all of these shows that we talk about have that, like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, I'll be talking to somebody and like, even if I don't say it out loud, that it's something from that show pops into my head.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep. There you go. So Simpsons. Dean, what else you got?
All right. So I'm gonna go. I did Cheers.
Is this your fifth?
Fifth? No, not even close.
This should be his fourth because I've only done 3. So yeah.
Okay.
No, I've only done 2. This is your
me
third.
too. I've only done 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We need to pick this up. So I'm gonna actually quickly just say my next one is Seinfeld. We've already touched on it, and we continue to go back to it because it's the greatest sitcom in history. So Seinfeld's next on my list.
There you go,
Nick.
Yep.
What do you got?
I'll make it short, but this is an old school one, and it was one of the first situational comedies that I ever found myself enjoying from way before I was born. That's right, sitting down. I Love Lucy. Granted, there's some things that there are situations that don't necessarily lend themselves to present day. You know what I mean? There's
maybe if you marry a Cuban band director, you would,
and things like that. But still a great show. Like, I just think Lucille Ball was brilliant. So was Desi Arnaz. The whole cast was fantastic. And even though yes, it's a little outdated, I found humor in it
up
as a kid in the '90s and watching I Love Lucy at that time. So I Love Lucy.
Great show. I used to watch it in reruns growing up. Yep. Let's see here. I have nothing else. Mine's overlaps now. So I had MASH on my list also. I'll just put out there too. And Cheers. So MASH and Cheers. So that rounds out my top 5. So I had Seinfeld, MASH, Modern Family, Cheers, and The Simpsons. That's my 5.
All right. My next one's going to be All in the Family. With Carol O'Connor being he's an icon. It pretty much showed, it put a mirror up to America at the time. It showed what bigotry looked like and made fun of it. You know what I mean? It didn't even like make him sympathetic to a lot of times. You know, the writing was incredible. Again, Carol O'Connor or damn it, what's her name? The mother. I'm drawing a blank right now, but anyways, it's culturally it is important when it comes to TV and or TV sitcoms. So,
Gene Stapleton.
That's right.
Stapleton.
So that All in the Family is next on my Mount Rushmore.
Very good,
Nick.
I will round out my Mount Rushmore with my final 2, which are both newer ones and both for similar reasons. So they are both within the last 10, 15 years. I will go with The New Girl, and I will go with Happy Endings. Happy Endings is honestly, other than Friends, probably my favorite comedy show of all time.
I agree.
It was just perfect. It was on for 3 seasons and it wasn't nearly long enough, but New Girl was very similar in style of comedy. So I'll kind of lump them together, but it was Friends-esque. It was very Friends-esque and Common Day. It was a present day version of it.
But it was,
single people figuring out their lives together.
But it was a little smarter writing. Like with the cutaways and the
it was almost
quirkier writing,
more like Scrubs in that way, where with the like you said.
You should say that because that's my last one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, Happy Endings was one of the writers of Scrubs. Made Happy Endings.
Yep.
But yeah, Happy Endings is God, one of my favorite shows ever. And then the New Girl was just a little bit behind that for me, but definitely lasted longer. And everybody's, I think, pretty familiar with that show. Just fantastically well written, very witty, very funny. There's so many things that I rewatch old episodes and just catch me off guard, and I'm just in fucking tears. Just like, so just make me laugh every time. I can never watch enough of it. I can never watch the episodes too many times. And that's the same with actually every single show on this list, and I think that's kind of what makes my list, is that like I'll never get tired of watching these episodes. It's not one of those things where like, well, I've seen that series, so it's done. Like, no, I can watch them over and over, and they're funny every single time. They make me laugh every single time. So
and you'll sit down and watch them.
I will sit down and laugh my ass off at their situations every fucking time, whether it's Friends, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I Love Lucy, Happy Endings, or The New Girl. I have honorable mentions, but we'll come full circle for that. So, Brian, do you have honorable mentions?
Okay, so we'll do a couple honorable mentions.
Let me real quick. I already named it, but Scrubs is my last. Is my last of my top of my Mount Rushmore.
So recap your 5, then, please.
So, Scrubs, obviously, just the writing. Where he's gone on, he did Cougar Town. The creator, Bill Lawrence, did Cougar Town, Ted Lasso.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but Scrubs is just genius.
Yep.
It was ahead of its time. It was
the first few seasons. The last couple really went off the rails.
But the last ones where they moved.
When all the originals were gone,
got moved. Yeah,
right.
But the first 6 seasons were incredible. Just brilliant. So I have Scrubs, Seinfeld, All in the Family, and Cheers, and MASH.
Nice.
Nick, what do you what is your remind us of your Mount Rushmore?
I had Friends, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I Love Lucy, Happy Endings, and The New Girl.
Yeah, no overlap.
And Brian?
Okay. Seinfeld, MASH, Modern Family, Cheers, and The Simpsons were mine.
We had a couple overlaps there.
Yeah.
So honorable mentions, Brian. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Yes. South Park. South Park almost made my Mount Rushmore. Some of the funniest stuff, and again, smart. These guys. Were
talking about cultural.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Unashamedly will make fun of the world instantly. There's a current topic, pandemic. Whatever. These guys are going to make fun of it and put it out there in your face and show you how ridiculous the world is in many respects.
And if anybody has a chance, go on to, I think it's Netflix, but there's a documentary about how the show's made and why they are able to be so up to date on their pop culture references, because they do the show a week. Like, when you see it, say it's airing Monday. I don't know what day it airs, but say it's airing Monday. They put it in the mailbox Friday. Like it's only a 3-day window from them finishing it to it airing.
Yeah,
the documentary's awesome.
These guys are genius. They really are. I mean, they turn things, like you said, they turn things around so quickly. The voice, they do a lot of most of the voice acting themselves. Right. Obviously, they made a musical. The movie was fantastic.
The movie that might be my favorite musical of all time. Bigger, longer, and uncut. Absolutely,
it's so good. So yeah, South Park, incredible. It still makes me laugh, and all the episodes are out there on HBO Max. And again, that's another one I'm kind of behind in, but I need to get caught back up with. But like I said, without fail, I love it. And
that's one that you don't even have to catch up. Like it's kind of just start watching it again.
Catch it wherever it's at.
Yep.
Exactly. And I watch the holiday
it's not a continuous
holiday
story.
Season.
They're all the same age.
Yep. Right. Exactly. Yep. There you go. South Park, first honorable mention.
My honorable mention, Jesus, there's so many here. One top of the here, Letterkenny. Letterkenny is it actually coming out new season December 26th on Hulu.
Okay.
It started on Crave TV up in Canada. Went to a YouTube series, and now it's a Hulu exclusive for here in America. It's we had just fun writing, fun acting. So my honorable mention, Letterkenny. Nikolai.
Nice. Am I doing multiple honorable mentions or
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. Just have at it.
I've got two I want to shout out real quick. One is Eastbound and Down.
Sure.
That's Danny McBride, fantastic HBO series. Just lasted 4 seasons. Loved every minute of it. Just always really loved that one. So,
You're good.
Brian, go ahead.
30 Rock.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's another series that
I need to
got
go
hooked
back
into.
and watch that again because
good.
I love everybody
Totally.
from that, but I didn't like it the first time I watched it, and I'm like, I need to
Really?
go back and try it again. Didn't like
Yeah,
it.
you really got to give it a shot.
Yeah, just again, it's the same type of formula. The characters are great, the writing is great, the storylines are
Absolutely.
interesting. Tina Fey,
It's so
Alec
wacky.
Baldwin, Tracy Morgan, just those three. And they play so well off of each other. The scenes between Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey is hilarious.
Yeah, it's writing.
He's such a
gold.
great straight man in that. It is writing gold. You're right.
Yep.
So, 30 Rock definitely way up there on my list. Dean.
All right, I know we're cutting on time here, so I'm going to give you two quick. You guys know my love for Night Court.
Yep.
Night Court is my honorable mention, and then
Take a drink. Convincing idiots. Dean said Night Court.
Night Court drink. But my other one, the Drew Carey Show.
Oh, okay.
I was probably early high school era when that was on. Loved it. So fucking funny, very quotable. That's one of the shows that a lot of times when I'm like in my head repeating lines from shows, that's one of the shows. It's so fucking good.
It's good. You can forget about that one kind of. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
It was the same type of deal. And the boss that went on to do the guy that went on to do the talk show later, the boss on that show,
Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, he was so funny in that as the boss. God, I remember the Wheel of Destiny. People come in, they spin the wheel if they're going to keep their job or not. Stuff like that. It's just so funny.
It's so absurd. It was absurdist comedy, especially towards the second half of the series. Like the first half was a little more structured of like reality. The second half got absurd, which I love. I mean, Dietrich Bader, who I want to remind you guys, because you guys didn't know who did the voiceover for the Weird Al movie. It was Dietrich Bader, who was also in Drew Carey.
Yep. Yeah, Drew Carey's talked about this on his radio. Go ahead.
Oh, and Ryan Stiles. Those two actors and characters is one of the best duos of sitcom history.
Absolutely. And Drew Carey, again, I mentioned this before, but he has a weekly radio show on Sirius XM, which is terrific. But he's talked about the Drew Carey show often, and he said the reason why you don't see it in syndication is too expensive. Because he had to get the licensing for actual songs. So Drew Carey has always been such a music fan. They paid for a lot of rights to songs when they put the show out there, and to re-air those is too expensive with the license.
Interesting.
That's why you can't find it.
It was such a good show.
It was a good show. Yep. Nick, any more honorable mentions?
Yeah, got two. I'll rattle them off real quick. Number one would be Trailer Park Boys. Incredibly made, like just the humor in it. Great Canadian show. Kind of what you were saying about, I don't want to say holding the mirror up on, it wasn't certainly not like Canadian culture, but definitely this subset of like exactly what it sounds like. If you've never watched Trailer Park Boys, just shitty, dirty people, almost like a Shameless before its time, an independently Canadian-made version of Shameless, but just of these just awful people, and it's just
comedy version.
It's hilarious because they're just shitty,
because
and
Shameless
they're just
was a comedy.
trying to do. Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, but,
maybe,
you know what
I
I mean?
guess.
It's certainly,
you're right.
it's very funny. I would say it is, but
like it wasn't like written to be like joke.
Sure, right. Yes, but Trailer Park Boys, especially like the way it is shot and that it is certainly supposed to be a comedy. So
I'm guessing those guys were like like some sort of like a stand-up troupe or improv
because
troupe.
they do like on the road shows and things like that. I mean, they're still going. They do specials and they do. I think they have a podcast and a live show and all this stuff. I mean, it's grown into this empire that. I mean, fuck. The show started in like 2002 or 3 or something, and here they are all these years later. You know, with
can't
all
wait
this
for
content.
our sitcom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But yeah, Trailer Park Boys is up there, and then lastly, honorable mention: It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Similar
that's
vein.
on my list too. Yeah.
That's another one that just, you know what I mean. When you watch some of those earlier episodes, it kind of almost is. It goes to show you when I watched some of the early episodes how the times have changed.
Sure.
The things that they would joke about versus the
couldn't
things
do
you would
it
joke about
today.
now. You wouldn't do it now, and it's all happened in this period where, you know, I think in, you know, many ways it's, you know, in a good thing that society has progressed, and, you know, we've become more conscientious of people.
It's just like Seinfeld. Just like Seinfeld. Like, you have to go into that show knowing that you're watching the worst fucking people possible. Like, they're awful. The characters are.
Well, they are terrible. Yes, they're horrible people. Yes, absolutely. But and that's what makes it so funny, is it's just so
and absurd,
unapologetically. They're shitty. They're just such shitty people.
Right. And after like the third or fourth season, like, it got like some of the things got like absurdity.
Sure. Yeah.
Like outside the realm of like, oh yes, they would be in jail if they did this.
Right. Yeah.
Like the first couple seasons, it's like, oh, they're just being shitty people. After a while, it's like, oh, well, they're just doing like illegal shit that, like,
right, they're getting away with like shit.
They would, right. But it's so amazing.
Yeah. So, but it's still a good show. I love it. And if you went to Golden Heart Tattoo this evening, Brian, I don't know if it was on or not, depending on who was there and who was in charge of the TV, but you're almost always sure to see at least a couple episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia at Golden Heart Tattoo. So,
was it on today? They were all there. Both the guys there today, but we had a couple movies on today. But I get what you're saying.
Usually it's a later in the day. It's usually early in the day or later in the day. It depends.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but great show, still great.
I'll give you one more. I mean, we can go this all night. Another one of these topics can go all night.
I'm good.
Parks and Rec.
I'll
give you one more honorable mention. So,
yep.
Again, fits all the same. Checks all the same boxes.
Incredible cast
with the writing, the cast, the storylines. You know, and this is sort of the opposite of Seinfeld. These are all, for the most part, very wholesome people working in the park system. A lot of them. Like obviously Leslie Knope, Amy Poehler was so good in this. Rob Lowe, when he came onto the show, took it to another level, in my opinion. And just, you know, kind of two words here.
Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson. Nick Offerman.
He's my spirit animal.
Fantastic. He was just so one of the best comedic actors on it. And he was such a good straight. It's like that's a guy you can envision you just want to be like, if you could just be that direct.
He's the one character I could do without. He's the one.
Really?
He's the one I don't like.
Really?
He's too.
Oddly enough, I'm the one person you could do without. That's
it's too good. Go back and watch some of those. Just look up probably Ron Swanson quotes. You know,
he's the one character. It's too over the top.
Just
interesting.
There's too many. He goes to a restaurant. He says, "I would like to have eggs and all your bacon." And he says, "I want to make sure that I'm clear. When I say all the bacon, you might think I mean a lot of bacon. I mean all your bacon." Anyway, just absurd, hilarious. He was terrific. Anyway, that's it. Again, I guess we can keep going here, but I know it's getting late.
We've gone through an amazing list of situational comedy shows
as we were sitting down to boot.
As we were sitting down,
as it was intended.
That's right. That's right. It's all in the name.
That's right.
It's all in the name. Okay. Well, Nick, why don't you take us out, sir? Maybe how about one of your sitcom actors or whoever you want to portray? How about that?
Well,
is that good for you, Dean?
I feel, if I may, doing the accent, I feel like I would like to call back to one of my favorite characters that has been referenced on this episode. And during the outro, I will be portraying Dean's Italian accent, which sounds a little bit like this. So, if you're out there and you would like to find us very nice on the internet, hello there, I am Italian winemaker. If you would like to find, I'm sorry, French. I'm French winemaker.
You're French. You're French.
You can find me crushing all of the grapes with my feet. Nice. All of those you can find on our link tree. Just search Convincing Idiots, LINKTREE. Once you find it, great success. That is us, Convincing Idiots. You can also go to our website. It is oldest website in all of internet. Don't check. I promise you, I am telling truth here. Nothing but facts. ConvincingIdiots.wordpress.com. So, for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I am great success, Millennial Nick.
I am Zenodine. Hey.
Jenna, it's Brian. I don't know who that was.
That caught me off guard.
I don't know who it was.
Have we convinced you that situational comedy is a fucking made-up thing? It's supposed to be sit-down comedy?
That is not
Come
correct.
on. That is, it's not correct, but that's believable.
Did you just see that shit? If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe. Come back. You're going to want to. Thank you for checking us out this week on. What?
I'll love that for you. I don't love that for you.
No?
You fumbled. Okay. You get it. Start again. 5, 4.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nope.
This week on. All right.